Well, we're joined now by Liv Lorent, who alters traditional fairy tales to promote equality, and she's been playing the Snow Queen in this year's pantomime in Western-super-Mare. It's Linda Lusardi.
Hello.
Looking fabulous.
I thought we'd better explain that one. Liv, what's the issue?
Well, I think these tales are fantastic. I love the Grimm fairy tales, and I've read countless versions towards our preparations to make new retellings. We work with Caroline Duffy, genius writer, and we look at the stories to think how we're going to represent them now to make sense for humanity now in the 21st century. So for me, growing up as a little girl, I knew very quickly, looking in the mirror and looking around me, that there was never going to be a prince, or that he was never going to have a crown and be wealthy. And there had to be some other alternative life.
Maybe Meghan Markle thought that as well when she was a little girl.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think you should underestimate children. I mean, they can sort out what's fact and what's fiction. And they don't grow up thinking that they're going to kiss a frog and it's going to turn into a prince, and, you know, that there's dragons and there's fairies. It's just a story, and children put it in the place. I was talking to Kelly's children in the green room, who you were just interviewing, and they said, oh, no, don't take the Disney stories away.
Well, we say Disney, and I should probably point out, in fact, that, you know, these are age-old stories.
Yeah.
There are Disney adaptations, but it's not attributed to them. These are fairy tales that have been...
19th century
absolutely.
Yeah.
And so... don't you think that I've got two daughters, and they loved us reading those fairy tales to them when they were younger. They have grown up to be strong, independent women. They weren't affected by anything they read there.
I mean, I called my daughter
fantasy.
Belle after one of the... I walked down the aisle to a song from Disney. I mean, literally, for me, that was my childhood, and I've grown up pretty empowered. I've grown up pretty independent, and I think that, in a way, is it not insulting to suggest that a woman, as she grows older, can't differentiate between fact and fiction, or that prince might not be a prince that's come out of a castle, but to you individually, the man you marry and you fall in love with has prince-like qualities because he's the one for you.
Yeah,
and he doesn't have to be a man.
That's right. That's right.
You want someone that treats you like a princess. All the males in Cinderella and Snow White, they're all very gallant and they're polite and they're lovely men that treat the women perfectly.
And that is such a beautiful privilege when you are lucky enough to meet that, or if you are a beauty. And but there are options. I think I didn't want any children in art. We perform to thousands of people across the country. We want the people in the audience, the families, the children, ones who maybe don't identify with that world, that sexuality, that class.
But I don't think you bring sexuality into children's books. They don't look at it like that. It's just a lovely romantic story. It's a love story, and you've got the bad and the good always triumphs over the evil. I mean, I've been doing Panto for 30 years, and, you know, to try and change Snow White and Cinderella would be just terrible to fiddle with the stories.
The beauty is offering something else. We go to Panto, we go to the fantastic Theatre Royal Panto in Newcastle every year and take the children. I would never want to take that away. It is something else to have the rest of the year, sometimes a chance to see another world, where in our Rumpelstiltskin, which we're touring at the moment, Rumpelstiltskin gets the girl. And the king, who is grief-stricken, we understand why he keeps forcing this poor girl to make more and more gold.
But you're messing with tradition. You're fiddling about with that. Where are you going to stop? Are you going to think, actually, do you know what? I'm not sure we like Bronte and the relationship between men and women, because that was very much of a time then. I'm not sure that, you know, that we're happy with Jane Austen and her relationship with men and women and who was the strongest, who was the weakest. So let's get back and let's erase all our literary history.
No, certainly not. And fairy tales, though, belong... I think fairy tales, there are so many adaptations. When I was researching to make Rapunzel, Snow White, Rumpelstiltskin, there's dozens and dozens of versions, and they get passed on.
There's a balance, because we've got Beauty and the Beast, where Belle actually falls in love with the Beast, you know. She falls in love with him for his personality and not what he looks like, and not because he's a prince and all the trimmings, you know.
But he does turn back into a prince,
yes,
doesn't
but
he?
when she falls in love with him, he's not a prince.
No, actually, it's so fantastic. And I think if I was going to do Beauty and the Beast, I'd keep him a beast. I think it's something very handsome about
Is it not good to have... Is it not part of the fabric of children's reading that, yes, they have the Disney... Or not keep saying Disney, but they have the fairy tale, but then they have other things as well. So then as part of a bigger thing, I can understand it's good to have that, all of it. There's a place for everything, not remove one entirely, maybe.
That's right. That's right. That's what I'm saying. That's what we're offering. We have an audience of thousands who come because they want to see something else. And I'm very influenced by my son, who has introduced me to the world of Marvel. So you see, like, Spider-Man being the geeky nerd, and then he is a superhero. And I think for me, that influence of having Rumpelstiltskin be the nerd who turns out to be this alchemist is wonderful to do.
We've only got about 20 seconds, but Kristen Bell saying that Snow White is being kissed without her permission. You should not kiss someone if they're sleeping.
It was to break the spell.
But it's a story.
But it was to break the spell.
Your final word. 5 seconds.
My boy, I want him to know that just because something is beautiful, it doesn't mean he can touch it and kiss it.